and welcome to, uh, well, the first stream of its kind on this channel. In fact, this is the first stream of its kind that I'm doing um, ever, in fact, using this wonderful second webcam that I was able to get my hands on the other day to give you a top-down view of making something, doing something, and hopefully having a bit of a chat along the way, a bit of banter as we go. Today, I am going to be uh, taking the innards out of this this DualShock 4 wireless controller, the camo uh, paint job version. I'm putting it into this, my original, and still my favourite. Well, my only ever new PlayStation controller. It came with my PS4 uh, 18 months ago or so, and it just died a few days ago. The Well, it's weird because when it's plugged in, the uh, the um, the USB port does provide power to this controller, but only when it's plugged in. So it literally has to be plugged in and then sort of held at a very particular angle in order to be able to use it. And we were using it eventually, sort of to uh, hobbling along to watch the Lost TV series via the PlayStation 4, but I couldn't use it for gaming because the moment you sort of moved it a fraction, the power went. I thought it might be a battery problem, so I got instead of a 1000 mAh battery, which is the native PS4 controller battery, I got a 2000. Um, and installed that. And for a brief moment, it seemed to work, and then it died again. So I think there's something fundamentally wrong with the innards of this controller. And actually, to be fair, uh, when you plug in a standard mini USB, mini USB, um, it's very loose in it as well. So when you just give it a slightest little tug, it tends to come out. Although this one obviously, of course, this one isn't. But the one I've been using just sort of sits very awkwardly in there. And so for various reasons, this controller uh, died. It could be to do with the USB port, could be to do with the wiring. Who knows? And so I went on a hunt for a PS4 controller that I could replace it with. Oh, hello, Matteo and Beck. Can't listen, but we'll watch in the background. Should be interesting. It should be interesting. um, but I went on a hunt for a DualShock 4, and just like with webcams, they are at the moment very rare. Everyone is at home gaming. Presumably, everyone is discovering either that they want to do multiplayer or that their controller, like mine, has stopped working. And so they're sold out everywhere. Certainly, the black ones are, and also other colours as well. If I really wanted, if I had my way, I would have got a purple DualShock 4, but they're just not around. This, as far as I can tell, was the last DualShock 4 available in my region. So in the northeast of England, possibly even the north of England, this was the last one. There was one in our local Tesco a couple of days ago, and I thought, oh, after a couple of days, I thought, okay, I'll go and get it from there. But then it went. So it's the last the last option. My last best hope was to get a camo version of the DualShock, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, I know some people will. Some people will be into that. I mean, it's not that it's bad quality. The print's really quite nice, and it feels nice in the hand. But I just don't like the camo. Um, as my lovely wife said when she saw the listing on uh, on the website, the Sainsbury's sort of Argos website, she said, "Oh, that's fugly." And I don't often hear her say things like fugly, so when she says it, she really means it. So I'm going to swap the insides of this into the insides of this. Hopefully that's not been too long-winded an introduction, but I just wanted just to lay this out for you. And in that sense, this is going to be interesting for me because I watched a tutorial on doing this morning. Um, and it doesn't look as though it's going to be difficult, but it will take it'll take some time. So it's going to be something that I need to be very careful about, because ultimately I want a working PlayStation 4 controller. I don't want to buy one that works and then ruin it. um, Also, something exciting as well. Just before I started streaming, in the post arrived the book I was talking about during my last live stream. Um, it's not Trick or Treat, it's Haunted Night. DC Comics: The Legend of Batman, Haunted Night, and I'm looking forward to reading this probably this evening. Actually, it's it's got that lovely it's got that lovely new book smell. Um, yeah. Anyway, so there's that Haunted Night. I like it. Right, I've put this off for long enough. Let us begin. Let us begin. Now, the other day, because I installed a battery in my or a new battery in this controller, it came with a whole lot of very useful tools. Um, and these are tools which are crucial if you don't want to damage your controller. In particular, plastic tools, pries and things, which can get in the gaps as you're prying open the controller in a way that won't damage it, won't leave a lasting mark. I'm not sure. Presumably that's another pry and another one here, sort of almost like guitar picks, but don't think I'll be using those today. Um, and I'm not sure why they included this suction cup, but I'll see if it sticks to. Oh, it does. It sticks to the desk. That's nice. Incidentally, as well, this that we're working on is the pull-out workstation that I designed for my laptop for when I film on my work YouTube channel. I put my laptop here for filming, so I can see the computer screen over there and have it here. So this, excuse me, I'm very proud of this handle here. Almost acts like a drawer handle, so the whole thing folds up and goes back into the desk there. And I can pull the thing out and it unfolds. I can't demonstrate that for you right now because then I'd have to move all this camera out of the way and stuff. So yeah, so that's what we're working on though. So I mean, this wasn't in place before the pandemic began. So silver linings, I've had time to create these sorts of spaces to work. The comic looks cool. If you like it, you should do a review afterwards. Yes, I probably will. It's been it's been a while since I've done a little review of a Batman comic, and the one that I want to do probably next is Batman versus Predator. Uh, but yeah, I finally figured out what it is that I think about that book, because there was something that was bothering me about it for quite a while, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it, and therefore I couldn't quite bring myself to um, record a review. But I shall, and then I'll get into the habit, I think, of doing those a bit more regularly as well, especially as things continue to hopefully get better in our day-to-day lives. So we are beginning, and one of the tricks, as ever, is to put your screws in a place that's sensible and it's not going to get knocked. So if I leave them on this surface, they might get knocked and fall on the floor. So I'm going to start putting them over here. There we go. This little screwdriver, incidentally, is one that I got to fix my. I got a Game Boy Micro a few years ago now, and my wonderful father-in-law helped me to fix it because it was broken basically when I bought it. And this tiny little screwdriver was one of the things that he suggested that I get before he arrived to help me fix it over Christmas. And it's a good screwdriver, because a very similar screwdriver came in the box in the bag of stuff with the battery. But I just dropped it on the floor. Oh no! Oh no, there it is. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Thankfully, this screwdriver is also magnetized, so I can pick up the screw quite easily. There we go. But But yeah, so one did come with the battery, but it's not as high quality metal, and also not magnetized like this one is. So I don't want to strip the screws, I suppose is what I'm saying. I don't want to ruin the screw heads. Basically, it's a nice screwdriver, and also it turns independently of the base of the screwdriver. So that means that I can sort of hold it, or one can hold it in one's hand and turn it like that without having to turn your whole hand. It's very useful in these sort of situations. I suppose I might as well do the same to both controllers at the same time. So let's get these out of the way, and what I'll do is I'll attempt to do a one-to-one swap. This really is going to be a wee bit fiddly, but I think that's okay. Actually, what I might do is put that one there so it's in the camera view. But yeah, I'm really pleased with this this second webcam. It's the one that's on the screen there. I've actually bolted that or screwed that one to the bottom of my movable second PC screen. Again for use for work purposes, and I like it. It's available in PC World normally for about £20 or so. I like the image quality on it, especially for a £20 webcam. Yeah, to do 1080 images, 1080p HD, not bad. And so when I went looking for a second one, I mean there are others available, for example on eBay that talk about being high definition. But you just never know, do you? And I'd much rather go with something that I'm familiar with. I need to be careful not to strip these screws. There we go. They're very, very delicate little sort of Phillips head screws. Oh, that one fell into my lap. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on the camo. And I'm hoping that this works as a live stream, because it's not as immediately, it's not as consistently active as, say, playing Half-Life 2 is. But I don't know. I've been very much enjoying watching the live streams from Tested with Adam Savage, and sometimes just having someone make something or do something, excuse me, in the background can be really quite therapeutic, quite nice. So now we need to crack these open. And when I first cracked the black one open, there was just this horrible sort of cracking noise. But I think now it's been cracked open once, it'll be fine. Yeah, that was much easier than the first time. So open it up. Come on. There we go. Just be gentle. And I'm going to try and leave the buttons in the top of the controller for now, if that makes sense, the shoulder buttons. Well, this one's not quite coming. There we go. Now there is there's a ribbon inside that attaches the back and the front of the controller together. And when I replaced the battery in this one, I was very careful to leave the ribbon attached. But for these purposes, you have to unattach the ribbon. So that means just pulling it out here, like so, very, very gently. And I'm going to make a a note, or a mental note, that the blue tab on the ribbon goes in facing the battery. So blue tab battery, I think. That's probably a good idea to bear that in mind. Now I'm doing this obviously on a relatively small space as well. So this is going to be also a test of my dexterity in that sense. But okay, so we've got that open, which is good. Good first step. Now to open this one. Now this one is going to probably have a horrible crunch because it's never been opened before. Well, indeed, literally, it was still in its packet until about, well, 15 minutes ago. Oh, blimey! Obviously, my microphone on my helmet, on my headset, is quite good at rejecting noise, so you might not be able to hear the clicks and the crunches. But that just feels as though you're breaking it, is I suppose what I'm getting at. And this is what the purple prior is for. If I can not drop more things on the floor. Hang on a second. Now for this, I'm going to use my little green pointer hand here. It's nice rubbery texture, just to grab that thing off the floor there. Move it towards me. There we go. I thought some of this stuff might happen, so that's why I have that guy ready to go. Okay, so this one. So yes, I mean when I got my PlayStation 4, I was very excited because obviously there's a really good back catalogue. Resident Evil 7 was a game that I could play. Go back and experience, and by then it was relatively inexpensive as well. I find this very interesting. Also watching it while I do my homework helps me to focus. Well, that's good. That's good. A bit of something calming, something methodical. I think that's why I enjoy watching Adam Savage when he's making things untested. Come on. Oh, just a horrible noise. It really is. Okay, so that's the two controller bits open. Let's see. Now the tutorial I watched this morning had this whole thing done in 12 minutes. I'm not sure. Well, I'm already well over time on that, but also to be fair, he wasn't chatting as he went. Oh man, this is actually quite difficult. So I'm doing that out of the view of the camera there, aren't I? Just need to be careful with the plastic prior. Come on, I know it won't break it. Just a bit more force, I think. Just a bit more. Oh, that noise is it's so horrible. There we go. Cool. So let's see if we can again try and leave the buttons in the top of the controller. Excellent. So here we are once again, and the blue tab on the ribbon there faces the battery. So we unplug that. Brilliant. Blue tab, battery, blue tab, battery. Okay, two equivalents now with the controllers. I'm happy with that. We have our 4 and 4 screws. Next we need to take out the battery, and that involves unplugging the battery just here very gently. There's a port. There we go. So that's the battery. And what I might do is just write on this. This is the 2000 mAh battery. I'll write that with my lovely Pica ink. permanent marker. So 2000 ma. Incidentally, ma, not spelled like that, is the Japanese concept of negative space, the space between things, which is crucial to the definition of anything, is the space around it and between it. He says, dropping his screwdriver once more. Honestly, it's almost like I haven't got enough room. So that's the 2000 mAh battery there, and then this one we have the standard, which is easier to see because it's got a lot more writing on it. So unplug this from the camo controller, put that there. Brilliant. Okay, now then, if memory serves, this battery cover should, battery holder is screwed in place and then comes off with a relatively simple pull. So, what do I think of the PS5 look? I think the PS5 look has a lot going for it. I actually think it's well, frankly, it looks like back in the day, but also I think it still is the case. But back in the day, it used to be that people would send in their own versions of what they think a controller would look like or will look like to games magazines, etc. Actually, I'll put this screw in here so I know where it comes from. There we go. So one. Let's move these up a little bit. So I remember when the GameCube, which I think was codenamed Dolphin, I seem to recall, when that was in the offing, people were sending in what they thought the Dolphin might look like. And the thing that always tied these concepts together was a sort of a futuristic, something very unconventional in its design. People would really go to town on the shapes and the forms, and I think the PS5 form, there's something architectural about it. It reminds me of a building, perhaps in on the cityscape in London or something. It's what's the word? It's trying to make a statement, which I can get behind. I kind of wonder though how practical it's going to be actually in the living room, if so. I mean, so for example, would it be best standing up? Presumably, by the look of it, by the look of the design, will it work on its side? If you've got a media unit that's got very narrow shelves, presumably, again, most modern consoles, they design them to go on their side, don't they? So yeah. Now, let's try and remember what came next. I'm pretty sure. Yes. So there's a little white clip just here, which holds another ribbon just there, and you need to clip it. Is it away from? Again, I don't want to break it. You need to try and get that clip to come away from the ribbon, which I think is a case of pulling that. Is it hinged? Doesn't seem to be particularly hinged. Let's have a look at this one. Interestingly, this one is black, not white, but the ribbon is in there. Or maybe you just have to pull. Maybe there's a slight difference in the design of the this model of the PS4 controller. Okay, I think I'm going to need a pair of tweezers. which I did not bring with me in my setup. I really should have done it in hindsight. However, there are some tweezers just in the living room because my lovely wife has been doing some hammer beads recently. Oh, there actually are other tweezers around here. Let's have another look. I'm going to try and just gently pull that. No. Yeah, I don't want to break it. Isn't that interesting? Because it definitely was a tab on the other one, on the demo this morning. Let me see. What do I have in my drawers of magnificence here? Nope. Not quite. Not quite. So I'm a little bit nervous about getting that ribbon back in there now, if there isn't a switch. Which that really doesn't appear to be the switch that was advertised, or the clip. Okay, I'm going to have to just quickly pop and get a pair of tweezers. Just a second. Okay, there we go. Tweezers. Yeah. Let's try pulling. It's really difficult. There we go. There we go. Just need a little bit of BFI, brute force and ignorance. And it doesn't look as though there is a clip. It looks as though you just shove it in or slide it in there. Which I imagine the tweezers will be useful for putting it back. Yeah. Okay, we won't worry about that just now. So that's that unribboned, as it were. Let's do this one. And just hold here and pull. BFI. Brilliant. Okay. Yeah, it's. I mean, to a certain extent, because these things are so mass-produced, there's a little bit of idiot-proofness going on. They have to be able to take a little bit of jiggling and cajoling, but yeah. Okay, so now if we try and take this out, should be ready to. A little bit of resistance there. What's that? Is it the joysticks? Oh, it's the it's the ball of the joysticks, the analog sticks, catching in the front of the shell, and okay, so close, right, okay, and that's there we go. That's the touchpad catching on the front of the shell there. Now I want to keep the buttons in place in the front of the black shell. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put these. I'll put them here so they're in camera view. I'm going to try and keep as much as I can in view here. Okay. I'm going to leave all that as is. So leave that there. It's a little bit nerve-wracking. I'm also being careful not to. I'm trying not to introduce anything in the way of static electricity to this as well, which is not ideal. Sometimes it can be quite hard to do that, but I just want to increase my chances of this working properly. So hopefully this should come out in a similar way. Again, it's the analog sticks being a little bit awkward. Okay, they're out now. So what's the touchpad? Touchpad. There we go. Okay, cool. Now, thankfully, I'm not in this instance doing a custom job. So, for example, I have been tempted to, and I may well, but I've been tempted to, maybe paint a shell or get a new shell entirely for a controller, which includes the buttons and everything else. But in this instance, I'm just doing a simple swap, which is grand because it also means that I don't have to, although I probably should actually worry about this because I want to replace the dodgy USB port over here. And actually this is different from the tutorial because on the tutorial there were two of these rubber things down here, and here there's just one. So this must be well, I guess this is version 2 of the controller, I seem to recall. So yeah, that must be it. Anyway, we want this now. This is destined for here, and this is destined for here. So from now on, this is going back in there. But I want to swap now the USB ports, which turns out is important, pun intended. And that. Okay, so I'm just going to gently. You also need to be careful with the shoulder buttons because they're sort of sitting there, and they have a spring. That's what gives the trigger its springiness. It's a simple single pin spring, and if that pings out, it can be a bit awkward to get back in again. It's not impossible, but it's far from impossible. But I'd rather not necessarily deal with that. Okay, so now take out the plastic bit here. This is interestingly not screwed in. as in the tutorial this morning. Blimey, I'm finding all sorts of stuff out. This plastic should come out though. No. Looks like I need to prise this white bit out first. So get my plastic prizer. There we go. The white bit up. Et voila. It really is different from the tutorial from this morning. And then this thing here is, obviously that's the window for the light, but then also you got the part of the acrylic here passes the light up to the touchpad, so you get a little blue or red or whatever green light through the touchpad as well. And this should just pull up, and you need to be careful not to, well, as the tutorial was saying, not to rip the rubbery bit. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And yeah, there we go. Brilliant. And then this unscrews. If I can get my screwdriver. There we go. Ooh, that's the frosted window for the. They said Joy-Con then. Wash my mouth out. Okay, so that. Can I get? Can I? Very gently get hold of that little screw there, and then this should. Put the screw just down here. This should just prise out of there. I'll move this out of the way for now as well. That should just come out now. So, tweezers, very, very gently. And being careful not to, don't want to touch or ruin any of the contacts on this. And, yeah, it is coming. It is coming. A little bit of tape just on the top there. Interesting. There we go. A bit of tape holding that in. So delicate, so incredibly delicate. Anyway, that's that done. Hooray! So this is going to accept that now. So I want to. So I'm just going to put this. I'm afraid this is going to have to go out of view. I'm afraid. Just let's put this over here. And what I want to do is the same as what I did just now. So let's see. Get the white thing up. When I watched this morning, I was very nervous. I was very kind of, I don't know, because you hear all sorts of nightmarish things about taking apart technology, and of course I'm voiding the warranty on this brand new, this brand new camo PS4 controller. But that's okay. I wouldn't want to be taking it back anyway. There we go. Cool. I'm a forever kind of guy when it comes to most of my tech. And interestingly, one of the things that's come out of all the talk surrounding is it GameStop in the US is the way that it's become increasingly clear that they, when they sell, I don't know, insurance or cover or whatever. So actually, when I bought this from Argos today, there's this sort of, do you want to pay an extra £5 just in case it breaks sometime? I never go for that because I tend to look after my stuff, and ultimately, what they're banking on is that either you'll never need to use it, or that it'll be out of warranty, out of date by the time you come to use it. So really, they're just asking you for £5 extra the moment that you purchase something. And who can blame them? People get nervous about their technology. Who can blame them at all? Okay, so very gently, let's pull this out. Whew. Oh, man, there's something about when something just suddenly gives. Like, now, I mean, now that this is out, let's just put this over here as well. I just want to just very gently just compare. I mean, they don't look that different. They really don't look that different. I wonder what's been going on. Anyway, that's from there. This is from here. And this now, I want to put it into the black controller. So let's put this back here. Our black controller. And this USB charge port goes in here. Now, I want it to be nice. I want it to be in properly. And I want it to, don't want it to be loose or to be crooked. So I need to be, that tape is really tenacious. Really tenacious. Hello, Plasma CRT. So let's see. Is that going to work? Not sure that's in place yet. Need to push it. There you go, a little bit of a click there. That was good. A little bit more of a click. I think that's in place. So let's attach the screw. Let's screw that into position. There we go. And whoo. I think the screw was in here, wasn't it? In this hole. Cool. That's that back there, and we'll put the frosted window in. Voila. And then this guy here is a little slot. Interestingly, what they've introduced is a sort of a series of what's the word? Asymmetrical connections. So instead of where there had been, I think, screws in the past on the white bar, now on one side it's you sort of push it in and then you push it down on the other side to get it to lock. And the same goes for this guy here. So it goes into a side, into just there, goes in and then down just there. So now we just dunk, push that down. I think that's okay. Yep. And then this is the white bar that goes in on that side and then down on this side. Down, in and down. Brilliant. And this is the bit I was most nervous about. So now that this is done, I'm relatively happy, I think. But I shouldn't count my chickens. Shouldn't count my chickens. Don't do that. Not yet. Okay. So frosted window on this one. And I don't really know why I'm putting this one back together again, the one that doesn't work, but I might as well, because I might be able to get it to work. Or, I definitely don't want these bits the parts rummaging around. Especially take the frosted window out for a second. The parts rummaging around in a drawer, and then, when shops reopen, not being able to say to someone, "Can you fix this?" It'd be much better just to take the controller to them and say, "Can you fix this?" So let's see. Should click and click. Oh. Sometimes it just feels as though you're just applying too much force to something so small, especially with my hands. It's funny if you have big hands, which I always have, big warm hands. You're so used to someone saying, "Oh, you don't know your own strength, do you?" That you become very gentle with everything, and it's one of the reasons why big scary rugby players are often incredibly nice guys. It's because they're used to being gentle. With great power comes great gentleness. Okay, in, come on, in. Is that it? No, that's not it yet. But yes, my hands are just way too big for an awful lot of fiddly stuff. Have to be very careful with things like tweezers, etc. So, like for example, hammer beads. Not that long ago, I sorted through a huge bucket, 10,000 hammer beads for my lovely wife. It was very relaxing. I was using a pair of tweezers for that. Come on. And maybe this is it. Maybe this is why this charge port wasn't working. Maybe this fact that it won't go back in to this other controller is symptomatic of the problem. In there, and then push. Oh yeah, click. I felt one click, and I think we're in place. I think so. Yeah. Okay, so now I love this magnetized screwdriver. It's just perfect for these little screws. So then there we go, that's in place. We follow that up with our crystal window. Brilliant. We follow that up with our perspex bendy bit. So in at that side, down at this side. And also that's going to be no accident, the fact that both this and the white bar go in and on the left and then down on the right. Again, it's all to do with repetitive motion, making it easier for people to do that on a construction line. So that's we've had a transplant already. That's brilliant. I'm very happy with that. Oh. Now then. How do I want to proceed? Well, let's see. Our touchpad. Well, I guess I want to put this into the black front of the controller. So this is from the new camo controller, and I want to put this onto here. I'm going to do this way, so as to try and preserve the position of the shoulder buttons as much as possible. That's what I want to do. So very gentle. Now the touch pad goes in first. It's very fiddly. In first under here, under this bar. Come on. Oh, blimey, I'm having to be really careful. Because the touchpad is connected via its own ribbon, a very short ribbon, to this, to the controller, to the board. Now this one looks a bit dusty. Have we got the? No, we've got them the right way around. Yeah. For some reason, it's dusty on the inside. That's interesting. This one's brand new. Okay, come on. So touchpad. Being very, very careful. Oh, this is very, very, very fiddly. Again, you don't want to pull that ribbon out, so just be careful. Touchpad through on one side. and oh, come on. And oh, no, that didn't quite work. Okay. Just be careful. Be careful, be careful. Oh, okay, calm. Because the moment you get annoyed with this is the moment that it all falls apart, I think. It's the moment that something falls on the floor or breaks or something. There must be an easier way, though, to get this bar, the touchpad, over that bar. So how about if we do this? So I'm going to try this with the with the other controller, because this is the one that's not working properly. So let's try it with this one first. Okay. You reckon this touchpad is much less loose. So I can see there are two prongs here. There's one here and one here, which match up with a hole there and a hole there on the controller. So I can see how things line up. It's just getting this touchpad in and over that bar just here, which is really difficult. Oh, a little bit of progress there. Rats. I use gravity to help me. And this one keeps on getting stuck underneath the roller of the analog stick there, which doesn't help. Doesn't help at all. Okay. Now, unless, have I got this backwards? Am I meant to put? No. It's meant to go in that way. Yeah. Oh, goodness me. It's so fiddly. It's genuinely annoying. Okay. So if I put my finger here, I try and hold it so that it's like it's angled out like that. Maybe I can. Can we go? Oh. Is that working? We're over the bar. So now, we just get the analog sticks to cooperate. What's now being something offering a bit of resistance here, I'm not quite sure what. There we go, yeah, that was the analog stick again. Ah, oh, there we go. Goodness me. Wow. And unfortunately I have touched the board quite a lot there. But from what I can tell, that's not too bad. In so much as I've definitely, you know, when I've seen other people doing this, they haven't been, you know, it's not been rubber gloves and been super careful. So I think we'll be okay. So that's the old controller gubbins into the camo front. So now we want the new controller. Let's just check this again. Is this actually? Have I got these modelled up? I don't think so. Although that again, that controller looks as though it's quite well used. Have I can? Yes, I have. I've confused them. I've muddled them up again. Ah, because the white tab is the old controller. The black is this little switch thing here, this little tab thing. That's the new controller. So I've just put the controller back into the. Oh, after all that, okay. That's a real pain. That's a real pain. Okay, but you know, I think I've got the method now. I've got my method. I think we can do this again. So be careful with that. With the analog sticks coming out to the back, and then a bit of resistance just there. Yep. And then the touch button, touchpad. Oh, just need to be careful. Yep. There we go. Okay. So new, old. Yeah. Can't exactly. No. But I learned a valuable lesson there with that whole process. So this should be easier. And the trick is to position the touchpad in such a way that I can just sort of lean it out from the controller and in underneath that bar. Come on. Come on. There we go. So it's over the bar. And I can start maneuvering the controller to where it needs to be through those holes. So okay, that's through there, and let's see. Oh, come on, come on. Yeah, I think we're on the right track there. Yep, yep. Just these analog controllers or analog sticks, because they need to see they sit there and they're resisting going underneath the curve of the face of the shell. So you have to push them in. Yep, that's right. Fiddly. There we go. And there we go. Hey. Oh, sit back for a second, surgeon. I've been an hour doing this. Blooming heck, so far. An hour. Well, if we're doing it carefully, nothing wrong with taking our time. So, now, once more with feeling on the black controller, the black shell rather, with the newer camo controller innards. So once again, we let the the touchscreen ribbon has come out of its slot there, which we did not want it to do. But its slot, the ribbon, goes through and comes out just there. So at least I know where it's meant to be. That's very annoying. So let's see. There we go. So there's the ribbon. Back where it's meant to be, just there. And now, I guess if I sort of hold the ribbon there, maybe I'll be able to get the touchpad to lean forward a bit. There we go. Goes in over this bar. Come on, over the bar. Yep, over the bar. Brilliant. And now everything else has to line up. Again, we have the analog sticks to worry about as well. Yep, there we go. That's good. Analog stick. Come on. Oh, so close. Oh. No, I did not want that to happen. Oh. Definitely didn't want that to happen. There we go. Come on, buttons. There we go. So analog stick through the hole. Through the hole and in. And then these locate just on there and there. There we go. I think all is good there. I don't think anything came away unduly just then. Okay. Am I using OBS? Yes, I am using OBS. Yeah. And as I say, it was getting this second webcam that really unlocked the ability to do this. So, using my tweezers, I'm going to plug this ribbon in to where it's meant to be, in here. If it'll go in. Yes. Brilliant. That ribbon's back in. Excellent. And here. Yeah, there's a bit of movement on the. I was a bit scared that when I was pushing that board through the front of the shell, I thought it had caught the analog stick had caught on the shell and detached something, but it hadn't. The board is just sitting there, so that's good. That's reassuring. So once again, here we have the ribbon. pair of tweezers, push it in there, and come on. Not quite going back. In we go. Isn't that interesting? There we go. I think the white line on the ribbon is an indicator of whether or not you're far in enough on the ribbon. But yeah, there we go. I think we're back in. Excellent. Wunderbar. Yep. Next, it's the battery holder. Or the battery holders. So let's see. Battery holder goes. That hole lines up with that one. Where hopefully there's a little arrow pointing to that hole on the board, which is quite nice. So this hole lines up there. And the screw that I kept in the tray is what holds it in place. So let's see. Can we do this one-handedly? Yes, we can. Can we fix it, Bob the Builder? Yes, we can. Okay, so that's back in place. Nice. See, same goes for this guy. This time I'll take the screw out first, I think, ahead of time. And here, again, you have the, put that in my mouth then. We have the hole with the arrow pointing to it. That lines up quite nicely with the, it's designed to line up with that. And also actually there's some guides as well. So on there you can see there's two pins, one pin, another pin just there. And those two pins line up with those two holes on the controller. So the pins go in. Again, as I say, I think there's a certain amount of deliberate design to make it, I mean, idiot-proof is the wrong word, but basically make it so that people can do this relatively quickly once they get used to it, you know. And hopefully they don't take an hour and 10 minutes to put a single DualShock 4 together. Now comes the big question. Am I putting the 2000 mAh, so the twice capacity battery, in my black controller, or am I putting the standard 1000 mAh single capacity battery in the controller? I mean, ultimately, at this point, I guess there's nothing to lose in putting the 2000 mAh in, and if it doesn't work very well, I can very quickly open this up again. You know, replacing the battery is going to be easy compared to what I've just done. So so yeah, okay, I'll go ahead with the 2000 mAh, twice the battery capacity, twice the playing time, hopefully. Excuse me. So 2000 mAh battery goes in like that, and actually the battery, interestingly, has or the batteries, they have one corner which is different. It's essentially a cut corner, which helps you to get the battery in properly. Which I've found if I try and put the battery in that way, it's not as happy. Oh, actually, no, it is quite happy there. Okay, well, who knows then? Who knows? Who knows? Who can say? Now to plug this into here. It's quite fiddly. So in we go. There we are. And as I say, if this doesn't work, then I know that there's something wrong with this battery, because so far I've been plugging it into a controller that wasn't working anyway. So who would know? Hey buddy, hello from the rainy northeast. Oh, I'm in the rainy northeast, Darren. Whereabouts are you? Cool. So now let's just continue with our pattern here, and I will put this battery in here. Bob the Builder, can he fix it? Hopefully he can. Brilliant. Now there's a tiny, it might be really, it's going to be really hard to see on the webcam. There's a tiny little black hook just here, which, I don't know, no, you probably can't see it. There's a little black hook here, which you can use to hook the battery cables under. So you can sort of put the red cable underneath there, thunk, and the black cable like that, thunk, and but in my experience so far, there you go. They don't always, it doesn't always sit so neatly as that. Like with this battery, and it might just be because it's not an official battery, the cables just have a slightly different feel to them. The red cable's a bit harder to get underneath the hook. He says getting the red cable underneath the hook first time. There we go. Okay, I mean it's not necessary, but it kind of just keeps things tidy. And now we put the back on the fronts, or the backs on the fronts, and first and foremost the ribbon has to plug into the corresponding bit on the board, which that was not funny, because this is a gap right here. If something falls down there, it's going smash on the floor. Blue on the ribbon was facing the battery, so on the other side of that ribbon it is not blue, so blue faces battery. So let's get that plugged in, shall we? I'm not quite sure how easily to do this. Close to Middlesbrough, wow. So I'm even more northeast than you are. I live in Wallsend. No, sorry. I am geographically further north and east. Like, well, north at least, north. Definitely not going to get into the argument of who's more northeaster. People north or south of the Tyne, for example. I don't want any trouble, man. I don't want any trouble. Now then. How are we going to do this in a way that doesn't cause chaos? Blue ribbon into there. Hopefully you can sort of see that. Blue ribbon in there. Blue faces battery up to the black line on the ribbon. Magnificent. Yay. And then we close this up very, very carefully. Now, as I say, this piece of perspex here is what delivers the light to the touch screen, that clear piece of perspex. So that goes underneath the bar so that it makes contact with the front of the touch screen, touchpad. And then everything just sort of clicks into place. Click, click, click. Yeah. Click. Hopefully. Hey, not bad. Not bad. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. Back together again. Now I still need to do the same with the black one. I saw your tabletop role-playing uh, video. Um, which one was that? Um, oh, cool. Oh, so my the D&D stories. Yes, yeah, we fell out of that for a little while, but now we're back in. We're playing D&D via Roll20. Very good website because some of the people that we're playing live in Nottingham. So in fact, our DM is in Nottingham, so we play remotely. Okay, so and there's some great stuff you can do on that website. You can have music, ambient sounds. You can have special effects and animations for. So again, the ribbon, blue faces battery, plugs in here. Hopefully it's not too hard to see. There we go. Magnificent. Um, and actually, our DM's been really good at making really funny like gifs and things for different characters. So one of the characters is a monk who is a martial artist. Again, perspex goes under the bar, and there we go. And so when our martial artist friend does a yay, or character at least, sorry, does a special move or something, there's some Bruce Lee animations that come in. It's a wah 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 kind of thing. It's really satisfying. Okay, so new control bits and bobs. Actually, I can feel that these sticks are new or newer. These two buttons, I think there'll be a bit more going on there when the screws are back in, but that's good. Yeah. Okay, cool. And now we need to put these 4 screws, or these 4 screws for each one, in the back of the controller. But yeah, 2000, a double battery capacity, hopefully, will be quite good. Not that I often run out of power during a play session, as it were, but it has happened. And you have to plug in the controller, which I'm sure hasn't helped the didn't help the old USB port. When you have it plugged in while you're playing, and people, that's always the thing that people, or the advice says, do not do. So, am I getting the Last of Us 2 game? I don't know. I'm I was sort of saying during the Half-Life 2 stream a couple of days ago, The Last of Us is a game which I didn't play on PS3 because I didn't have a PS3, but when I got a PS4, I was able to go back and play the remastered version, Player's Choice or whatever it's called. And I have been very much enjoying it, but I sort of fell out of playing it because, frankly, Spider-Man was just more fun at the time. So, but I think I've got quite far into the campaign. So I think what I will do is I might restart the game actually, because I want to be playing the story with a constant sense of what's going on in the story. Just drop the screw. Where did it land? Is it in my t-shirt? Oh, there it is. It landed in my crotchal region. Thankfully, that's not on camera. You don't want to see a 35-year-old man groping his crotch on YouTube. Oh, no! Just drop the screw again. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay, time to use my phone torch, I think, to find it. I've done really quite well in not dropping things so far. But sometimes when you drop something, you really drop something. I think I really dropped something that time. Let's see. Do. Nope. Is it down here? Oh, man. Man alive. Okay, this screw's going to be easier to find, I think, when I'm not streaming. So, I shall use... Excuse me, had to do a slight burp there. A tray, yeah, a tray. And the thing is, in the shed, I've collected together trays and pots and things for precisely that reason. How was the whole process? Very, very fiddly, but actually, doing it on the live stream has been a great way of just taking my mind off worrying too much about it, which is great. You know, just been step by step. And of course, the big question is going to be, does the controller work? Well, this one isn't going back in for some reason. What's going on there? Let's see. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yep. But yes, I will retrieve that screw as soon as the live stream is over. It'll be somewhere just underneath a piece of furniture. And I shall put that screw into this camo controller because for now, what matters more is that I have all 4 screws in the black one. So another black screw. There we go. But I mean, as I was saying, I think basic. No. Now that one did not go far. That's just underneath here. Oh man. Where's it gone? Hello. Oh, actually, I can use my magnetic screwdriver to fish it out. There we go. There it is. That one fell on the floor. Et voila. Well, that's just as well I'm having these problems now, you know, not while I was actually doing it all. You know, I've been very methodical, despite my lack of trays. Very careful. And hopefully, this guy, with its 2000 mAh battery, will do well. Let's see, if I press... Oh, interesting. Well, this one I wasn't expecting to work, because this is the broken one now, essentially. But hopefully, if I can just get this one charged, it will work. I guess I'll have to report back on that one. Eh? Not a very good screwer. Well, I have. What can I say? You know, the screws, by which I mean these little things that I'm dealing with, have never complained, shall we say? Put it that way. And okay, that's that in there. Now, if I go and try and charge this and use it, and the innards or the battery aren't working, aren't talking to each other, I can always swap it out for, well, actually, frankly, for the new battery that's in this controller now, or for this this battery that was this controller's battery. Although I think there might have been a problem with the battery as well. So there's still some fiddling about and testing to do, but we've swapped it. The insides of this controller are now inside this controller, and I'm happy with that. Just need to get that last screw. Although actually this one isn't in properly here, is it? Let's see. There we go. Yeah, so that's better on the top there. Fantastic. Well, hopefully that's been a vaguely interesting live stream. I've very much enjoyed it. Thank you for turning up. Do you want me to go and test it right now? I could go and plug it in, see if we get some power. Or I could just go and do that in off stream, because I don't know, you don't want to hear me swear, do you, if it doesn't work. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for turning up. GG. Does that mean go go? Sorry, oh, got to go. Okay, cool. Yep. I think I'll end it here anyway. It has been fun, and I'll report back on the social medias as to how the controller works. Indeed, I may even take a little photo of me playing Spider-Man with it. As I say, guys, thank you for turning up. It's been fun. And also, actually, thank you for being with me through a very fiddly process. I was hoping the live stream would help calm me down throughout this, and it really has. Thank you, Darren. Take care, Beck, and Matteo and everyone else for turning up. Thank you. And until next time, do take care. Bye-bye.